Have you ever walked into a room and felt the tension, only to realize someone's been talking about you behind your back? Friends are suddenly cold, support disappears, and no one will tell you why. That's not random drama. That is a strategy. When I say demonic, I don't mean spooky or theatrical. I mean a strategy that mirrors Satan's core agenda: accusation, division, and control. In this video, which will be our first in our deep dive series on spiritual warfare tactics, I'm going to pull back the curtain on one of the most confusing and destructive tactics in the manipulator's playbook: triangulation. You're going to learn exactly what it is, the 5 sneaky ways it is used to control you, and the biblical practical steps that you can take to shut it down and protect your peace. Now, first, before we get into it, I'm Shanine, and welcome to Toxicity is Not Your Destiny. If you're new here, this channel is to empower you to navigate toxic relationships from a biblical, practical, and spiritual perspective. If that's what you're looking for, hit that subscribe button and don't forget to click on the bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. Now, let's dive into it. What is triangulation? While not all manipulators are narcissists, this tactic is a hallmark of narcissistic abuse. Here's the clearest definition. Triangulation is when someone avoids direct communication and instead pulls a third party into a conflict to control the narrative and maintain power. Why do they do this? For 3 main reasons. Number 1, to control the narrative. By being the middleman, they can twist your words, misrepresent your actions, and paint themselves as the reasonable one or the victim. Number 2, to avoid accountability. Direct communication is risky for a manipulator. You might confront them with the truth or hold them accountable. By bringing in a third person, they can deflect, deny, and hide. Number 3, to create chaos and division. Chaos is not a byproduct for a manipulator, it's the environment they need to function. Let me give you a classic example. Let's say you have a conflict with your mother-in-law. Maybe she showed up unannounced at your house for the 3rd time this month, and you finally set a boundary. I need you to call before you come over. A healthy person would say, okay, I understand, I'll call next time. But a manipulator, instead of talking to you about it, she calls your spouse and says, I'm so hurt by what happened. I was only trying to help and spend time with my grandchildren, and she was so ungrateful and rude to me. I don't know what I did to deserve this. Notice what just happened? Your boundary became abuse, and her intrusion became help. Now your spouse is in the middle. They didn't witness the actual conversation. They only have their mother's version of events, which is dripping with victimhood and exaggeration. They come to you confused and defensive of their mother. Why were you so harsh with my mom? She was just trying to help. The original conflict between you and your mother-in-law is completely lost. Now the conflict is between you and your spouse. And the manipulator is sitting back, pulling the strings, and feeling powerful and vindicated. That is triangulation in action. And it happens in workplaces, churches, families, and friendships every single day. Now, there is a sophisticated multi-phase playbook that manipulators use to execute this strategy. It goes far beyond just simple gossip. We don't have time to go into all of that in this video because in the next video in this series, we're going to do a deep dive into the complete 5-phase tactical playbook. And I'm going to show you every single step. And once you see it, you will never unsee it. So make sure you keep your eyes wide open for that next video. Okay, so for today, let's break down the 5 most common types of triangulation. Number 1, comparison triangulation. This form is subtle, but incredibly effective. This is when the manipulator constantly compares you to someone else to make you feel insecure and to control your behavior. Here's what it sounds like. Your sister is so much better with money than you are. Or, my ex never had a problem with me working late. They understood that my career is important. Or even, why can't you be more like so and so? They're always so cheerful and supportive. Comparison is control disguised as motivation. The disruption here is to your sense of self-worth. The manipulator creates a phantom competitor, forcing you to compete for their approval. It is a rigged game that you can never win. It's designed to keep you feeling like you're constantly falling short. Here's a second kind of triangulation: gossip and smear campaign triangulation. This one is especially common in families and churches. The manipulator spreads lies, half-truths, and negative information about you to others to isolate you and damage your reputation. Here's what that looks like. They'll go to your friends, your family, or even your pastor and say things like, "I'm so worried about them. They seem so unstable lately. I think they might be having a breakdown." Or, "They've been so angry and controlling. I'm honestly a little scared." They frame it as a concern, but it's actually a smear campaign. And because they say it with such sincerity and worry, people believe them. The people they recruit become what scripture would call unwitting accomplices, often called flying monkeys. The disruption here is to your relationships and your reputation. The manipulator isolates you from your support system so that if you were ever to speak out about their abuse, no one would ever believe you. It's a preemptive strike that makes you feel completely alone. Number 3, romantic and jealousy triangulation. This form is subtle but incredibly effective. This is when the manipulator manufactures romantic competition to make you feel jealous and insecure. They might constantly talk about an ex. "Oh, they used to make this dish all the time. It was amazing." They might flirt with someone right in front of you and then act like you're paranoid for bringing it up. Or they might invent a secret admirer. "Someone at work keeps leaving me these notes. It's so awkward." Jealousy is the leash. And the disruption here is to your sense of security in the relationship. The manipulator wants you to feel like you could lose them at any moment. So they're keeping you in this constant state of anxiety and competition with a ghost. The fourth type of triangulation, authority and expert triangulation. This one is especially common in families and churches and organizations. This is when the manipulator uses the opinion of an expert or an authority figure to invalidate your feelings and prove that they are right. It sounds like this: "I was talking to my therapist and they agree that you're being too sensitive." Or, "Pastor John said that a godly spouse should be more submissive." Or even, "I read an article by a psychologist and it says that people like you have trust issues." Borrowed authority is one of the most spiritually abusive forms of triangulation. And the disruption here is to your confidence in your own reality. The manipulator borrows someone else's authority to silence you, making you feel like your perspective is completely invalid. It's a way of saying, "It's not just me who thinks you're wrong. Every credible person thinks you're wrong." The fifth type of triangulation, victim triangulation. This form is subtle but incredibly effective. And this brings us to the most sophisticated form of triangulation, which is when the manipulator plays the victim to recruit allies. Here's the scenario. You finally confront them about something they did. Maybe you raise your voice because you're frustrated. Within an hour, they've called a friend or family member and said, "They're yelling at me again. I don't know what to do. I feel so unsafe. I'm trying so hard, but nothing I ever do is good enough." They paint you as the abuser and themselves as the helpless victim. And now that third party is texting you, calling you, telling you that you need to apologize and be more understanding. Notice how quickly the story spreads once they feel exposed. When a manipulator uses triangulation consistently, it doesn't just cause isolated conflicts. It creates what I call an atmosphere of ambient abuse. It's like in a living room where the air is toxic. You don't see it, but you're constantly struggling to breathe. The entire relational environment becomes toxic. And here's what you'll find: constant stress. You're always walking on eggshells, never knowing when the next conflict will erupt. You start second guessing every interaction, wondering who's heard what. A competitive, conflictual spirit. Instead of a loving family atmosphere, everything becomes a competition. People are pitted against each other, and betrayals become common. Deep insecurity. You constantly feel off balance, insecure, and questioning your own reality. This keeps chaos going, and this is the opposite of how God intended relationships to function. God's kingdom is one of righteousness, peace, and joy. The manipulator system is one of chaos, conflict, and anxiety. So what does God have to say about this? The Bible is incredibly clear about the sin of division and gossip, and triangulation is both. Proverbs 16:28 says, "A perverse person stirs up conflict, and a gossip separates close friends." That is exactly what triangulation does. It separates, it divides, it destroys trust. And Jesus gives us the direct antidote to triangulation in Matthew 18:15. If your brother or sister sins, go and point out their fault, just between the two of you. If they listen to you, you have won them over. Notice the instruction, just between the two of you, not through a third party, not through gossip, not through social media. And just to be clear, Matthew 18 is not a weapon to force victims into unsafe conversations. It's God's model for honest, direct, accountable communication. God's model for conflict resolution is direct, honest, and private. It is the complete opposite of the manipulator's model of indirect, deceptive, and public manipulation. From a spiritual warfare perspective, triangulation is the work of two primary spiritual strategies that Scripture repeatedly warns us about: the spirit of accusation and the spirit of division. The enemy is called the accuser of the brethren in Revelation 12:10. His entire goal is to divide, to confuse, and destroy relationships. When a manipulator uses triangulation, they are partnering with the enemy's primary strategy. They're doing the work of the accuser. So how do you respond when you realize that you're being triangulated? Number one, refuse to play the game. When the manipulator comes to you with a story about a third person, do not engage. Do not take the bait. You can say something like this: "It sounds like you have an issue with so-and-so. I'm not comfortable being in the middle of that." You should talk to them directly. Now, this is where discernment is critical. If someone is in immediate danger, safety comes first. Discernment doesn't replace protection, but sometimes a person coming to you is a true victim who genuinely needs help, and we are called to protect the vulnerable. So, how do you know the difference between a manipulator trying to triangulate you and a true victim who needs an ally? This is such an important question that I created a separate standalone video on it called 3 Hidden Tests That Expose a False Victim. It gives you a powerful discernment framework to help you see past the crocodile tears and identify the true spirit behind someone's story. So I highly recommend that you watch that video along with this one. The second thing you can do to protect yourself is go directly to the source. If you hear that someone has a problem with you, follow the Matthew 18 principle. Go to that person directly and say, "I heard that you were upset about XYZ. Can we talk about it? I want to understand your perspective." 9 times out of 10, you'll discover that the person either didn't say what the manipulator claimed they said, or they said something much milder and the manipulator took it out of context or exaggerated it. And this exposes the manipulator's lies and brings the conflict into the light. And manipulators hate the light. And to help you with this, I've created a free guide for you called Flying Monkey's Survival Guide. This guide will help you understand who these people are that get recruited into the drama, why they do it, what they do, and how to protect yourself from them. It's the perfect companion to this teaching on triangulation, and you can get it for free by clicking on the link in the description box below. Triangulation is a cowardly and destructive tactic designed to keep you in a state of confusion and control. But now you know what it is, you know the 5 main types, and you have a biblical framework for how to respond. So I hope this video was helpful. Don't forget to download your free Flying Monkeys Survival Guide. It is a perfect resource to go with this video. And remember, we've only scratched the surface today. In the next video in this series, we're going to do a deep dive into the complete 5-phase tactical playbook that manipulators use to execute their triangulation. We'll go beyond the simple cycle and break down every step. You don't want to miss it, so make sure you're subscribed and don't forget to click the notification bell so that you're notified when this video gets posted. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.